Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param. Namaste. Let's go back to page 240, verse 35. After conversing with friends and other people in the dream, the awaker does not find their friends and the other people in the world there anymore. Therefore, it understands that it's not real. The awaker does not find it real anymore. Does not find it real. So it finds it, oh, it was just an illusion. Again, after waking up, he does not see anything which was received in the dream. Now, we have seen that it's just Gaudapada inserts some more elements to these kinds of examples. It's like just building a play in which you were there, you met your friends, and then in the morning you run to your friend and he said, no, I was not there. Okay, and then it was an illusion. But you gave me this and that, so don't you remember? No. Okay, I was afraid I lost it, but it was an illusion. So just a little bit more elements to sustain this kind of construct, this kind of examples. Father, the dream world appears to be common and objective, that is available to everyone and not a private projection while in dream. So here again, we go back again and again to those parallels between these two states and the two worlds, the dream and the waking world. So we know that during the dreamer takes it to be real, but the awaker look back and say, no, that is just a dream, an illusion. But likewise, if the awaker would realize his or her true nature as to real, and then it would look in retrospective, would look, into all these interactions in the dream world, in the waking world, and would see it as well as a projection or a dream or an illusion. So therefore, the importance to again and again look into these parallels between the awakening and the dream world. Both are experienced, conditionally by a certain experience entity with a specific instrument, body-mind instrument, in order to perceive those objects of that order. And everything is happening within consciousness. So in the dream state, it's easier to understand that it's happening or either reflect or project by my mind. But in the waking world, it's a little bit more tough, as we know, because you say, no, it's not possible that it's happening in my mind. But it's happening in your mind, but it's not the mind, the small mind, It's in the true nature of the mind of the mind. It's happening in consciousness, because the mind is consciousness, and that needs to be understood. Reflect consciousness is by nature identical to original consciousness. You understand? Understanding dream is very useful for understanding the mithya nature of this awakening world as well. It's conditional, it's relative. So and then he says, so just know that it is a projection, but don't underestimate it. We have seen it. The awakened world has a conditional reality, but I have unconditional absolute reality as to real. I'm not affected by the events that take place in the dream world. And we have no problem to say that statement. No, I'm not really affected by any event that takes place in the dream world. When we say that, we are standing as Vishwa, the awaker, as the awaker. The awaker, I have no problem, I'm never affected by anything. I can mess up, I can do wrong things, bad things, things that I'm ashamed, but I keep it only for myself, because none of that is going to be revealed in the awakening world. And I'm not going to be affected. Nothing's going to shame me in this, because they belong to two orders of reality. So now we are trying to establish our nature in Paramatma Satyam, yeah? And in relationship to Vyavaharika Satyam. And then from that angle, I know that anything that happens to this body, mind, sense complex, the awaker entity does not affect me and does not shame me and does not give me any pride as well, through humbleness, or how you say, to be humble, to be, what is the synonymous of humble?
Through humility.
Yeah, true humility comes from that angle, Mark, as you already understood. You understand? Because I shift my identity to Turiya, to consciousness. And as consciousness, I don't own any actions, words, or anything, and I just watch all of that. Therefore, I don't take shame and I don't take pride by anything. I'm just the conscious witnessing principle. You understand? And of course, that consciousness is not an experienced entity, but it apparently becomes an experienced entity. And this knowledge, self-knowledge, takes place for the experiencing entity. So this experienced entity experience a little bit of both worlds. You understand? This experienced entity experience its nature as Turiya, as consciousness, which is not a fact, but experience its inferior nature as body, mind, sense complex, which is a fact. Sometimes I put it as an interface in my Portuguese group, interface. So there is an interface in which I experience a little bit of my true unconditional, and nature, superior nature as consciousness, which is never affected by anything that is happening to my awaker. The same way the awaker is not really affected by anything that is happening to the dreamer. The dreamer does things, the awaker is not affected, the awaker does things, and then my nature, my superior nature, as Paramatma Satyam, I think I'm saying it right or wrong, I don't know. Paramartika Satyam, I think. So my nature as Brahman, as Turiya, as consciousness, is again not affected. Therefore, as we shift our identity to that, we feel more and more. In the beginning, it may feel a little bit strange, and I have illustrated that to you guys with that event that happened in my restaurant when I had a huge fight with my son. You remember? You both remember, huh? And then I should be ashamed. My son was saying, "Are you not ashamed?" And I was strange enough saying, "No, I don't know why, but I'm not, It was exactly that, the recognition that I, as consciousness, which was not clear to me at the time, I'm not really experience any pride and any shame in regard to anything which relates to this Vishwa, the awaker. So this is the capsule number 4 of Vedanta. I'm never affected by anything that happens in this awakening world, material, body, mind complex, because I am of a Sangha nature. I don't associate, I don't interact, I don't navigate in this apparent reality, I'm just a distanon, I'm the substratum pervading this superimposition. If we keep that knowledge in mind, and if that mind, after having been worked by discipline, bring it up in one's conscious mind again and again, if we keep that in mind long enough, the time comes that we don't need to remember it as a discipline or a sadhana. It becomes naturally established in the subconscious mind. You understand? That's where sadhana becomes natural and effortless, because it's working for you 24/7, because it's properly established in the subconscious mind. So if we come to that, and then my life will not be much affected by the events happening to my awaker. The life, my life as Jiva Atma, my life, it will not be much affected by the events, okay? This knowledge is a powerful absorber, a shock, just like a airbag, let's say. And then beginning this next file here, Swamiji. Let me just change the color here. Gaudapada is connecting all these four features of Mithya to the dream also, and thus they can be extended. So we know that the dream world as well, it does not have origination, and the Jiva as well does not have an origination. So what happens is that there is an appearance, and this appearance must be accepted rather than rejected. And there is a field for experience, and which serves a certain purpose. And why that happens is said to be due to ignorance of one's true intrinsic nature, or the nature of the universe. So on the macrocosmic level, it's called Maya. In the Jiva level, it's called avidya. Then we see for the dreamer, the dream is not a dream, it's a reality. Okay. The perspective of the dreamer in the dream is so important to be understood, because it's the same perspective that the awaker has in the waking world, because the dreamer perspective, it's real, because I'm here really having an experience. As this night, strangely enough, I ate late. I ate something that I should never eat again. I love popcorn, but every time I eat popcorn, I have certain indigestion, and then I don't sleep well. And I say, just a little bit tonight. I don't want to fix anything, just a little bowl of popcorn. And then I thought I was going to get away with it, but I had belly pain. Woke up, and strangely enough, I dreamed a lot. Okay, and in the dream, that level of experience appears to be not a dream, but reality. So, and why it is important? Because we need to understand that from the perspective of the waker, okay, this Vyavaharika, this physical material duality we experience, it must appear real, exactly like the perspective of the dreamer. From the perspective of the dream world appears to be real. You understand? So it's natural that we find it real. The only thing is that when we step out of being the awaker to become Turiya, or consciousness, or Brahman, Brahman is no longer really an experiencing entity, although Brahman appears as the experience entity, which is the Atma of the Jiva who has recognized that my nature is Atma Turiya, Atma Brahman. You understand? So we need to get to this self-knowledge so clearly, so that we can understand this perspective, this shifting of perspective from the awaker to the consciousness, Turiya, Brahman, the Atma. These parallels make sense only when this shift begins taking place. It begins taking place is not totally wrong way to put it. you know? So when it really shifts, and then it becomes a doubtless situation, a fact, doubtless fact. But in the beginning, there is a sense of shifting and my sense of identity. And then from that sense of identity, you understand that you experience a bit of both. My nature is limitless consciousness, and from my true nature as limitless consciousness, I can see this awakened world as unreal. But the moment that I'm fully identified as the visual, the awakening entity, and then the world begins real again, and I respond seriously to what's happening around me. I really take it seriously. I remember that sage running from the herd of elephants that were coming to smash the ashram, and running together with his disciples and climb a tree. And then the guru saves his life. And then the disciple, my guru, you always saying that this is all a dream. And he said, yes, it was just my dream body climbing a dream tree to save my dream life. The objective existence of a dream is accepting the dream. Likewise, the objective existence of the waking is accepting the waking world. Okay, this is called Jiva Mukti. You just understand all these suborders, and behave accordingly to each one of these suborders, taking them as another parallel. We can take the roles we play within this Vyavaharika as a human being. So we do several roles. Those can be seen as suborders as well, because I cannot behave the same way with my mother-in-law as I behave with my daughter, for example. You understand? I have to be careful with mother-in-laws because they can really make you very miserable, as we know. So likewise, so we can't really cross those borders between this dream reality and the waking reality and the absolute reality as Paramartha Satyam. So play your roles, don't underestimate your roles as a waker, but know that don't add too much importance or reality, but at the same time, you need to dance according to the music. The physical body in dream is unreal because of the experience of another body distinct from the dream body. Just as the body in dream is unreal, so also every object of consciousness is unreal. So we have a physical body. In the dream, it's unreal because we have an experience of another body distinct from the dream body. So it's I read it in the beginning, I did not get it, and then I figured it out. I should have written a note, because again I'm confused about what it's saying here. The physical body is in dream is unreal because of the experience of another body, distinct from the dream body. Yeah. Just as the body in the dream is unreal, so also every object of consciousness is unreal. So it's not clicking again. I thought I was going to remember the meaning, the true interpretation. Any help?
Is it looking at the dream body from the waking state? Is it analyzing it from the waking state?
Yeah, it's something about that. The physical body in the dream state. Say it again.
I think what he's probably doing is analyzing the dream body from the waking state. And so he's got the waking body as well.
Yeah. The physical body in dream is unreal because of the experience of another body, distinct from the dream body. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we have an experience of a physical body, yeah, which is distinct from the dream body. Therefore, from the standpoint of the waker, yeah, or from the standpoint of the dreamer, yeah, the physical body is unreal. Yeah? It's a bit confusing. Again, I'm a little bit confused. I leave it to you once again. Give another shot, please.
Hold on, can you just help me in the text where we are so I can read it at the same time? I haven't found exactly where we are in the text.
Okay. Verse 36, page 253.
Okay.
I think it when we read the explanation of Swamiji here, it becomes clear as well, if I remember.
Hold on. Okay. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
Verse 35.
Yeah. Yeah. In the dream world, we are experiencing a dream world, and the physical body is seen as unreal because of this experience of the dream body. But then it says distinct from the dream body, and then it's distinct from the dream body. We have an experience of the physical body, but the physical body does not serve the purpose of transacting in the dream world. In the dream, it's a bit confused the way it's constructed. It clear in my mind what was the correction of this. I should have rewritten, but I don't have the program to edit these things on the
Physical body and dream is unreal because the experience of another body distinct from the dream body. Okay, just as the body in the dream is unreal. It sounds like he's talking about another being in the dream, doesn't it? Like duality within the dream.
It could be. But it's confused. Let's see what Swamiji says here. It became very clear to me yesterday, but because I don't have a means to edit it, to put notes here, don't have the program, I thought I was going to remember. When we enter the dream, the first thing we do is to project the body-mind-sense complex for our own use. So when we enter there, we don't really do nothing, you know? But anyhow, Ishvara provides us with the proper body-mind-sense complex to experience that dream world. With the awakening instrument, body-mind-sense complex, we cannot do any transaction in the dream. So, of course, the dream body that is transacting in the dream is different from the awaker. It's body that is resting on bed. The waking body is resting in bed, and the dream body is transacting in the dream. Okay. Okay, that dream body is a projected body, is known only after waking up. Only when we wake up, fair enough, and then we are aware that we were transacting with a different body. In dream, the projection of the dream body will never be accepted. In dream, the projection of the dream body will never be accepted. This is the glory of Nidra Shakti. It projects a dream body in the dream world and deceives us into believing that it's real. The dream body is an object of experience in actuality, and so is Mithya. You experience your body objectively, and you experience as well the dream world objectively. Whatever is an object of experience is Mithya. This is the fundamental law of Mandukya. Yeah. Anything that can be known in experience is Mithya. In the other Upanishads, they are more focused on anything that is an effect of a cause is mithya. In the Mandukya is anything which can be experienced and known is mithya. And satya is what? Is whatsoever is not an object, whatsoever cannot be seen, known, or experienced. That is I, the experience, which I am not the object, I am the absolute subject conscious principle. If this law can be applied with regard to the dream, it should be applied to awakening as well. The parallel here is that according to Mandukya, anything that can be known is nitya. And then we say, okay, I accept that. But why? Because anything that can be known is blessed, projected, sustained, and taken back by consciousness with the aid of Maya. So I'm the one blessing this apparent reality, and anything that appears other than myself is an object of experience. Doesn't matter if it is more dense or less dense, or more subtle or less subtle. It's just an object of experience. And I, the experience, can never be reduced as to an object of experience. So what is mithya then? It's anything that can be experienced. So we put it in two fundamental dualities, satya and mithya, the observer and the observed. The observer cannot be simultaneously the observer and the observed, okay? And that takes us to the Drig Drisha Viveka. Did we do Drig Drisha Viveka in English? We did. We go all the way to Drig Drisha to remember the ultimate seer, the ultimate knower, that which perceives the intellect, the mind, the sense organ, the physical body with its instruments in the world. So I'm not an object. If this law can be applied with regards to the dream, it should be applied to our waking state as well. So in the dream, it's very easy to understand the mithya nature of the dream because it can be objectified, can be seen, can be known, can be experienced. And there is something which is illumining and experiencing this world, revealing and experience this world. This something is consciousness with the help of Maya Shakti and Nidra Shakti. Like the dream body, everything obtained in awakening state also is an object. So in the dream, we have no problem to see the dream body as an object, isn't it? In the dream, I mean, we see the world of the dream world, but in many instances, we don't see only the dream world. We see the dreamer, the entity, the body-mind-sense complex of the dreamer. Yeah, we see the dreamer running from the tiger and climbing the tree, and we see the dreamer. We see ourselves more objectively in the dream world, and less objectively in the awakening world. So the invitation here is it's the same thing. So the same way we can see the dreamer objectively, we can also see the awaker objectively. And this is something that makes total sense and cannot be refused. How so? I see myself objectively, yeah, because I see my physical body. But then Vedanta says, but not only that. So who is seeing the physical body? It's my mind. Well, my mind is seeing. No, it's the sense organs, the instruments, the five senses are seeing your physical body. But what is aware of the five senses here and the instruments of perception? Oh, there is something. It's my mind. Okay. So, but what is there really objectifying this mind when you say it is my mind? What is there seeing the mind? No? So that is the Drigdrisha taking us to the ultimate seer. So if we can see the dreamer objectively, we can see the waker objectively, and then we can understand that the waker appears on those five levels or koshas or sheets, no? Described by our scriptures, from the more dense until the more subtle. And we have an objective experience of these 5 levels or the 3 levels of the human experience. Therefore, there is something which is other even than the intellect, okay? So the mind is the primary object. First, we experience our mind. Through the mind, we experience our body. Through the body, we experience the world. The mind is the primary object, the primary instrument of knowledge/experience. The body is the second, and the world is the third level. Even though these 3 are at 3 different levels, what is common to all of them is that they are all objects. I can always perceive them. I perceive the mind, the physical, the subtle body, the physical body, and the Vyavaharika body, the world, my environment. They are all objects. The second line of this verse 36 says that is very important. A very important line of the Mandukya Karika. Just like the dream mind, body, and the world, everything that is an object of experience is Mithya. This is the fundamental of Mandukya Karika that we have seen from the very, very first chapter, okay? We distinguish it from other Upanishads. Just like the dream, body, and the world, in the dream mind, dream body, and the world, everything that is an object of experience is Mithya. It's conditionally real, known as Vyavaharika Satyam. It's a conditional reality. How so? That's very interesting. Huh? It says here that it is a conditional reality. Conditional reality is not absolute reality. It's conditioned by a certain state and kind of instrument and a projection of a kind of dimension of duality. And he puts all in the same bag and calls it all Vyavaharika. He does not call the dream world Pratibhasika. He calls everything Vyavaharika. Or because he says here, just like, oh my God. Just a moment. Ganga, I'm having my class here, okay? I call you when I'm done. Just like the dream mind, the body, and the world, everything that is an object of experience is Mithya. He put the dream mind there. It is a conditional, it's conditionally real, known as Vyavaharika, Satya. So what I was going with this is this thing that call the dream world of Vyavaharika Satya as well. Because we would say that Pratibhasika Satya is a subjective conditional reality, which is more in terms of the way we see the world through our biases and vasanas, our interpretation of the Vyavaharika. But here it seems he appears to be putting the dream mind as also a conditional reality known as Vyavaharika Satyam. What about God? If God is an object of experience, it's in either awakening or dream state, that God is also conditional reality. Yeah. So in the dream, we can also come in contact with the concept of God. God as an object cannot be the ultimate truth, as it's given in Kena Upanishad. The object of Upasana cannot be the ultimate truth. The ultimate reality. When God is recognized as the Atma, the Turiya, God is the ultimate reality. Shantan Shivan Advaitam Kartudam Manayanti. So it remains that curiosity, because he appears to be calling the dream body and the dream world also something known as Vyavaharika. How about that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess it's because even in the dream, as in the waking, we're still seeing objects outside of ourselves. The dream body is seeing objects outside of itself. So it's not a praktibhasika, so to speak, because like you say, praktibhasika is dealing with our own interpretations of what we see.
Yeah, very interesting. It goes with that question I present to Swamiji through you, when he said, no, in the dream you have an objective experience. Although it is a projection that makes use of your vasanas or your mental impressions, it's still objective reality, meaning to say it's a sort of vyavaharika, therefore it's mithya. So, interesting. Verse 37. Dream is considered to be caused by a waking state, since dream is experienced like a waking state. However, the awake state is considered to be real for that dreamer, since it is the cause of the dream. So now let's play with it. Dream is considered to be caused by the awake state. In which way? So the dream is just a projection of our mental, emotional impressions or memories, collect during the awakened state. So it's kind of, without the awakened states, we don't have a dream. Dream is considered to be caused by the awake state, since dream is experienced like the awakening state. So you're going to have an experience of a house, a dog, a cat, any object of experience in the dream is going to be similar to the experience of the awakened state. Now, it's structured a little differently in the sense that it goes very fast, but the objects are somewhat similar. Sometimes we do things in the dream that we are not able to do in the awakened state. Maybe we make a confusion. We may think like, oh, I can fly. Why? Because, I know that birds fly, and here I'm not only a human being, but I'm mixing up the attributes of a bird and a human being. Therefore, I'm going to fly. So who knows? So, but we experience similarly like we do in the awakened state. However, the awakened state is considered real, which is the most important. The awakened state is considered to be real for that dreamer, since it's the cause of the dream. So it's very enigmatic the way this verse presents. However, the awakened state is considered to be real for that dreamer, since it's the cause of the dream. So the dreamer there, it may be referring to the awaker under the spell of avidya, maybe. The second level of illusion of dream. The awakened state is considered to be real for that dreamer, since it's the cause of the dream. So if we say like, I say, no, I mean, the dream world is caused by the waking world. The waking experience is going to produce the dream experience. Therefore, the waking experience, the waking state is the cause, and the awakening experience in the dream state is an effect. And then we go to cause and effect, and then the cause is real, the effect is mithya. So most Upanishads puts it that way. So we establish here cause and effect thing that it can be challenged by Vedanta, especially by Gaudapada, okay, in this case. Well, I'm not going to go into that. But anyhow, we can say like, no, it must be real because it's the cause of the dream world, okay? So, however, the awake state is considered to be real for that person who is still under the spell of illusion, just because it believes that the awakened world is the cause of the dream world, which is an effect. Right, Mark? Something on those lines, huh?
Yeah, I think it's like the last one. He's analyzing it from the waking state. And so what he's saying is the waking state is considered to be real because in the waking state, he has the vasanas which creates the dream.
Yeah.
It's just as you said. Yeah.
Cause and effect.
Yeah.
The awakened world is mithya, just like the dream world is mithya. For another reason also, it's easy to accept that the dream is conditionally real. Generally, we consider that the awakening world is the cause for the experience we have in the dream world. The experience in both worlds are similar. This leads to the judgment the awakening is karana for the dream. It gives us the impression that the awakening is the cause and the dream is the effect. Since the dream world is experienced very much like the awakening world, generally the dream is considered to be a byproduct of the awakening world effect. So if that's so, from that, a principle can be extended. Since the awakening world is the cause for the dream world, both should have a similar nature. This is a second principle or inference we can make if we say that they are of similar nature, okay, because it's just the impressions and so on. So since the awakened world is of the same nature, is the cause of the dream world, establishing that cause and effect has to be a phenomenon we see in the same suborder of reality. If we say that the awakening is a cause and the dream is an effect, and then they should have a similar nature because they all belong to the same order, because causality can only happen within the same order. Something in one order cannot have an effect on another order. Like if I do rob a bank in the dream, it's not going to have effect in my awakening world. So it has to be within the same order. So if the dream world, if the awakened world is really the cause of the dream world, they must be within the same order of reality. Cause and effect exist only within the same order of reality. And this order of reality is mithya. They have similar mithya nature. The dream world is real in dream for the dream experiencer. Similarly, the awakened world is real for the awakening observer in the awakening world, okay? So therefore, there is no cause and effect, really. In fact, there is no causality between one another. There is just the same kind of things, but let me see here. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun here. Thus, awakening reality must be similar to that of the dream world. Both require the appropriate conditions for their reality. Further, the dreamer does not call his experience a dream. Even the words awake and dream are not applicable because they are relative. In a particular state, the world obtained is real for a particular observer in this state. Thus, both awake and the dream are on pair in all respects. So they are both unreal. They are both of mithya nature. So the extended inference here, it says that the dream is considered to be an effect of the awakened state. If that's so, another principle can be inferred. The awakened world is the cause of the dream world. That is the suggestion here. Both should have similar nature because cause and effect occurs within the same order, okay? So if we take them to be of the same, now I got it. If we take them to be within cause and effect relationship, and then they both must belong to the same order, and that order is meteor order, similar nature, okay? They just have different conditions. That's why we call conditional reality. So conditions are just different mental states producing different bodies and field of experience, okay? Different mental states. The mind of the individual under certain conditions experience the physical material, the dream, and many other dimensions, as many people do say, many people claims to have experienced. So is there a cause and effect reality relationship? It seems there is, because all these lokas and realms are just they seem to be an effect or byproduct of impressions that we retain during the awakening state transactions, and we purify our body, mind, sense complex in such a way that we may have access to certain realms within this incarnation, or even after, or more common than not, after we leave the body. And then the condition of my body mind is going to allow me access to a certain celestial realm, a loka. This is all relative. It depends on the condition of one's mind, refinement, purification of mind, and so on. And some other esoteric tendencies may allow us to do this kind of interdimensional trips while still associated with this physical body. Since the birth is not established, everything is said to be unborn. Everything is Brahman, which is beyond beginning, middle, and end. Unborn Brahman. Since the birth was already, not established or proved to be not something that happened ever, the birth of the Jiva and the birth of the universe, because everything is just Brahman. Again, birth of a non-existent entity out of an existent entity does not take place anyhow. So he's revisiting those concepts that somehow reject those philosophies that says that there is a creation. This creation comes into existence from nothingness or the void or emptiness. It comes from non-existent to existent, no? And then he said that the birth is proved to be not a fact, the birth of Jiva, the birth of God and the universe. So because the only thing is Brahman consciousness all the time, and then he revisits the other concept, birth of non-existent entity out of an existent, the birth of a non-existent entity out of an existent entity does not take place. Both ways, He's just, he reversed that concept and says that if there is only Brahman, there is no Jiva, there is no Ishvara, there is no Jagata, okay? Why? Because the birth of a non-existent entity out of an existing entity does not take place. So there is an existing entity, which is Brahman. When we say that Brahman extends itself to become the world, this is not acceptable by Gaudapada, because it says that a birth of a non-existent entity, the world is non-existent, Jiva is non-existent, Ishvara is non-existence. Birth of a non-existent entity out of the only reality, which is existence itself, which is Brahman, cannot take place. So something I don't like. Let's see what he says. Gaudapada understands the difficulty of the students in understanding this toughest topic of Advaitam. Brahman Satya can be very easily accepted, but Jagamitya is very difficult to grasp. So, Satya is simple, but understand the nature of Maya and the world is difficult, and the world consists of Ishvara, Jiva, Jagata. It's very difficult to understand this Mithya nature of the universe, which is the Mithya nature of Ishvara and Jiva. A relevant question comes up: how can awake and dream be equated? Like they are the same illusion, they are the same projection, they are the same Mithya reality, apparent reality. How can the awake and the dream be equated? The waking world exists independent of us, but the dream world exists depending on us. He's saying like any inquirer will see no, because the waking world exists independent of us, but I am the cause of the dream world. The dream world depends on me. So the dream world is something that I project, I cause. It depends on my experience, my vasana, and so on. But the awakened world, I mean, how can I see it as an illusion, a dream, or projection? I can accept that in regards to my dream world. No? The dream world is subjective projection, but the awakening world seems to have an independent, objective existence. Here it's curious because he's putting the dream world as a subjective projection again, you know. It is a subjective projection, yes, but it is experienced objectively, if I understood Swamiji's correctly, you understand? It's subjective projection from the standpoint of the awaker, but as a dreamer, it is objectively projected and objectively experienced. On what base can the two worlds be equated if I have no power to produce this Vyavaharika, this physical material universe, and somehow I was given a power to project the dream world? When I go to sleep and enter the dream, I leave the waking world behind. The same awake world is experienced when I wake up in my bed. The awakening world seems to exist independent of me. Whether I am awake, sleeping, observing, or not observing. The awakening world seems to exist independent of me, whether I am awake, sleep, observing, or not observing anything. Therefore, the awakened world must have originated from some other cause, and so I cannot claim that I am lending existence to the world. So it means to say that if I take myself to be the mind, I cannot accept that I'm lending existence to the physical world. I can accept, if I take myself to be the mind, that I'm lending existence to the dream world. But as the mind, I cannot lend existence to the material world. No? So you see the difficulty is that it's all in terms of definition of what this I refers to. It refers to the mind, and then I can accept the fact that the dream world is a projection because it's projected from my mind, and I experience it in a way that it's clear to me that it's not real, but the awakening. So the mind cannot do that. So unless we understand that we are not really the mind, but we are consciousness, we cannot accept these final statements of the Upanishads. I would never be able to claim that I'm the one lending, because the I still is referring to the body-mind. The world is really present, independent of me, and has been originated by a cause other than me, and we have no clue why this universe was created, project, originated, or caused, but must be a cause for this world, and I am not the cause. This is the doubt in the mind of every inquirer. It repeatedly comes up, this doubt, consciously or unconsciously. So how can I accept this physical world to be a mithya? No? If I do not know who created, how it was created, and what was the purpose of this creation, and so on. Gaudapada gave one answer earlier, and here he gives another different answer. The earlier answer is that the same argument is given in the case of the dream as well. Dream is accepted as a projection only upon awaking, and never accepted during the dream projection. Similarly, this physical material universe is an objective world as long as it is looked from a visuous perspective. If I look from my Turiya perspective, the awakened world will not remain really objective. I will not attribute really objective reality or satya reality to this projection. So the question remains always how I'm going to shift my perspective from the awaker into Turiya, looking into this world from Turiya angle. Here, Gaudapada gives a different answer. Assume that the awakening world is not my projection and that it has an independent existence of its own, then there must be a cause for the world. The problem of causality comes. I did not cause it. The dream world, my mind has caused it. But this world, there must be a cause because I take it to be real. There must have been originated or created, it must be an effect of a certain cause. It was asked earlier as to what the cause was. This was analyzed from the standpoint of various theories of creation, and we have seen it, and Buddhist theories as well. The analysis showed that the creation of the world can never be logically established and proved to satisfy the intellect, the logical intellect, and so the objective existence of the world is not viably a fact or proved. Since creation is not logically established by any theories, as we have seen it in details, any theory of creation, we saw it in this chapter from the verse 6 to the 28th. So this creation cannot be argued, it cannot be argued that there is an object created, originated, manifested world. This teaching is based on the Upanishads. Mandukya Upanishad declares. Mandukya, now he's jumping to another Upanishad. Okay? Not only Mandukya, Karika, he says, in the Mandukya, it's also said, all this in front is the immortal Brahman only, alone. Brahman alone is here behind everything. Brahman alone is on the right side as well, on the left side, above and below, and so on. This world is this exalted Brahman and only Brahman. So there are several Upanishads that he's going to cite here that points to that direction, that the world is not really existent, it's not real. There is only Brahman. What an ignorant person calls the world is, in the vision of the scriptures and the vision of the wise, is nothing but Brahman. World is only a word, and it is nothing but Brahman. Intellect always asks for cause, and Gaudapada is demolishing the idea of causation and causality. There is neither cause nor effect, there is only Brahman, which is neither the effect of something nor a cause for anything, as said in Katha Upanishad. This omniscient one does not originate or die. It did not originate from anything. It did not become anything. It is unborn, deathless, decayless, growthless. It's not afflicted when the body is affected. So more hints of the non-dual nature of reality. There is no origination of this creation. Brahman did not come from anywhere, nor anything came out of Brahman. Brahman is and will ever be the only reality, the substratum of this apparent reality. In between, if the world is seen, it is because of our ignorance in asserting or understanding the true nature of this projection. A non-existent world that is only an appearance, a non-existent world which only appears, cannot originate from Brahman. So how can something that is the source of origin, the source of reality, produce something which is unreal? Okay, a non-existent world that is only an appearance cannot have been created by Brahman. Neither the dream world nor the waking world has ever originated. So we're going back to that. I think he will keep giving other quotes of other Upanishads supporting his teachings of no origination, no creation. So what remains of all of that, you know? What is the purpose of all this? What is the practical benefit of getting contact with these revelations of knowledge or written knowledge, commentaries of Gaudapada? It's just to go there and see deep inside of our minds those areas, those tendencies of still attribute reality to this world. So all these analysis and so on, it aims to help us to stop attribute reality and real intrinsic value such as security, peace, and happiness in any objective world reality, because anything that is an object is a meteor, okay? And the only consciousness, the seer, the true nature of the seer is the only reality. And being the only reality is ananda, is non-dual. And it is altogether the only reality and different from the apparent reality. There is no duality in Vedanta. It's not the, such a meteor is duality. No, one is reality, the other is just an apparent reality. So it's just to establish us as consciousness in consciousness and establish this knowledge, you know, properly, establishing it in our subconscious mind so that we don't, we are not deceived by Maya again and again, and we start just, you know, attributing reality to something that cannot add anything to us and cannot take away anything from us because it belongs from an unreal apparent order of reality which does not affect my true self. That's the main purpose of all of this. Okay, so we meet again this coming Friday. Gita, back to Gita. Anything from you, Mark?
Now, that was excellent, Arlindo. I really enjoyed that. Thank you. Yeah, it's to establish non-duality as well. If there's non-duality, there's nothing to worry about. basically. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Everything is the Atma, everything is the self, everything is consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste. Okay, we meet again Friday.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Arlindo.
Bye bye.
Bye now. Bye, Philip.
Bye bye.